Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm heading the Embedded Systems Laboratory at EPFL, and today I would like to talk to you about the area of Internet of Things, or IoT, and in particular, the work that we have been doing in this context for the last 10 years on the smart wearables. So I think everybody knows what Internet of Things is. As a recap, basically, you can see in this diagram that clearly wearables are a key element in Internet of Things, because the idea is that we consider that wearables is not only things that we port ourselves, but can also be on cars and can also be on objects. Then basically you want to have everybody monitor. And the idea of Internet of Things is that this information can provide new insights on how they can interact autonomously with each other, thanks to the use of effective cloud computing. So the idea here is that you can rely on big data analytics, machine learning, and all these elements can really interact together to create new business opportunities. Now the question is, if we think about this context, and this is what we have been exploring in my lab for the last roughly almost 10 years, is it possible? And are we really ready for doing this? So if we focus specifically on medical, we can see that what we currently are is the idea of developing extremely tiny sensors that can sense the information and rapidly transfer to a smart hub that can be typically a smartphone. And from this smartphone, if it's needed, it can also communicate to a doctor. So, and then there are a few areas that are particularly hot, the area of cardiovascular diseases, brain monitoring, and even muscular monitoring for rehabilitation. So if we think about this, and we have been looking quite a lot in this area, the main issues that you have are two. First one, the system only lasts 5 to 6 days. So there is no way to make the system last in this context, simply because the communication is extremely expensive. And second, what happens if I don't have communication beyond the smartphone to the hospital or to the specialized personnel? So you don't have a way to report anything to the person. So you need to provide feedback. So since 2010, we have been working with the SHUB to try to extend this approach and make the system really smart. So we have developed a number of specialized multiprocessor designs and microcontrollers that are specifically targeting electrocardiogram analysis. And thanks to that, we can also embed in the sensors, not really on the phone, but in the sensors, noise filtering. We can also do delineation like you will do in the hospital. And even with machine learning, we have been able to include classifiers that the doctors will use to reduce the volume of data that he needs to analyze. So having all this, we can definitely report to the hospital what is really needed. If it's needed, we can also compress the data so that the doctor keeps the relevant information, and everything works in an autonomous fashion. So you don't really need to have the hospital all the time intervening. So we try to do this, and we put it in place with the help of the medical community and see what happens. And what turns out is that they are very interested. So you could actually have a system really working autonomously for a person. You just leave the person leave the hospital and go to be monitored, and in case something goes wrong, the hospital is informed automatically thanks to the sensors. You don't need to even have electrodes. As you can see, you can even have extremely cheap polar belt systems to do that. And in the end, what you get is the phone becomes only an interface if the person wants to see something, but otherwise the system works autonomously itself. So overall, yes, it's possible to have small wearables. We created even a startup called Smart Card in the Parc Scientifique, and has been actually quite a lot of work done in the US. They are very interested in this area, and in case something goes wrong, like I said, the doctor receives, or the medical personnel receives information to really call the person. Even the pilots that actually agreed to try this adventure with us from Solar Impulse, they managed to survive the trip around the world, so I think it's actually proved that it was doable. And then what is next? So what I would like to mention today is that this is not the end. It's really just the beginning. We can do many more things. So I'm showing here two examples of commercial products that we have. One, commercial products that we are helping to design. One is on your left side, you see a phone where we can actually do blood pressure, non-intrusive blood pressure monitoring by using a camera and a microphone of a phone. Second, we can have on the right side a device which is an armrest, and also can be used as a watch, and it can actually monitor all these things autonomously. So what is coming is really multi-parametric sensing and adaptability for the person, so that it can actually work autonomously. So last but not least, I would like to mention that we are not only here for doing projects, but also like what Andreas mentioned, we are also here to help you. So in this case, we also have a course that we are trying to understand professionals how this IoT, a new revolution, is coming up. So there is actually a course that we do annually where you can actually come. It's specifically targeted to do hands-on with industrial case studies that we have done at EPFL and industrial companies. And I will be very much happy if you want to actually have more discussion on that. So that's all from my side. So thank you very much. So I hope we can work together to develop the new wearables, not like what we have today, but what we like to have tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, David.